Because if they show up at 1 p.m. on Saturday, weird kick time, right, for a preseason game,
Yeah.
and they smack Minnesota in the mouth, we're going to be giddy on Monday then, right? We're going to flip that.
Yes.
So if it's doom and gloom, and they could get embarrassed here Saturday, if they show up and look representable and pull off what they did like last Friday night, then we're off and running, man. And we're talking 11, 12, maybe 13. So just to be fair here, right? Because it's the second preseason game. I don't care about the score. I just care about, can you not fumble the ball in the pocket? Can you play pitch and catch? Can you throw the ball? Can you run? Can you not miss a block? Can you handle a TE twist? And if you do all that and you play defense and you tackle and you cover, let's get the hell out of Minnesota, stay healthy, and get ready for Vegas because you're not playing anybody next week. Next week's preseason game is going to be not a disaster, but it's run it, get out in 2 hours and 35 minutes.
Mail it in and let's go.
Yes.
Yeah, not going to see any of the starters.
Attempt to try and move that. Can you flex that game to like 12 p.m.? Can you do that? Can the league do that to help people out?
All right, so what you're saying I think is fair, but I would also say this, right? I look at this Vikings joint practice with the Patriots. We get the first one today. By the way, we'll hear from Mike Vrabel coming up at 12:30 here prior to practice.
Well, I think that'll be more telling as to what they're going to do Saturday, how they practice these 2 days.
But I think there's reason for excitement if you're a Patriots fan, Zoe, because like for these 2 days and this matchup with the Vikings, it's the first time since 2022 where there's real expectations in terms of like, all right, let's see how you measure up against this franchise that you're going up against in terms of what should be one of the best teams in the NFL and the Minnesota Vikings. They were the best team last year, obviously new quarterbacks, so we'll see, but there's a lot of respect there for not only Kevin O'Connell, but obviously for Brian Flores as well. And, I go back to whether it was last year and that Eagles joint practice, we weren't trying to measure the Patriots up against the Eagles at that point, right? It was just kind of going in and all right, here we go. There's no excitement. There's no buzz around that team. Third year of Mac Jones, there was no excitement or buzz around that team. You kind of knew what it was. You have to go back to that second year with Mac Jones and the excitement around coming off of that playoff push with him, getting blown out in Buffalo. But that excitement went out the door pretty fast when the offense with Matt Patricia looked like it couldn't function. And David Andrews is pulling everybody aside and yelling and freaking out. And this is the first preseason, Zoe, where not only is there excitement around the team, but so far it's kind of lived up to what people's expectations have been for this new Mike Vrabel-led Patriots team.
I just want to see the same energy 2 weeks in a row. Like I said after last week, the key is to build off that, to stack it. Last week was not perfect. And take it into context. They didn't play anybody. Supposedly Minnesota's going to play everybody. So we'll see. But you're going to get two days of joints. Are you really going to play everybody? Or is it going to be brief? I think it's really going to be brief. I think they're going to play everybody, but you're going to get them for 2 series. And you're going to shut it down. Pats might do that too. I mean, what did Drake play the other day? 14 snaps?
14, if that. If that, right?
Yeah. Last year was, 7?
Yeah,
the first game. Like we want to get him hit, get him out.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we're not going to play him for the first.
He's gonna have a good week. I think it's more like I think the running backs will be fine. I think the line's gonna be fine.
So,
he's got to play better. Quarterback's got to play better. All of them. All the quarterbacks got to play better.
I mean, my takeaway from this is that I think it's all eyes on Drake Maye for this joint practice with the Vikings, right?
Sure.
I mean, I kind of look at what Mike Vrabel has tried to establish here so far, and it feels like this thing, again, is trending in the right direction where you feel like this team actually has an identity. You can see kind of what he's building towards. There's a foundation there. Certainly, you still need to upgrade some of the talent around the rest of the roster. But in terms of what they're trying to do with this coaching staff and the direction that it's going and the operation that we've seen so far, they're checking all those boxes. I think the big question is, what's Drake Maye going to look like in year 2? Because that's ultimately going to determine your ceiling here.
This is great. 2 weeks in a row where it's about the 2 quarterbacks. Jaden Daniels versus Drake Maye, where they at in their development. This is going to be Drake Maye versus J.J. McCarthy. Because you had a guy, Sam Darnold, a year ago that had them playing, meaning the Minnesota Vikings, playing for the number 1 seed in the last game of the year against Detroit.
Yeah.
You're either going to be the number 1 or the number 5 seed. And obviously they lost that game, went to 5, and then Detroit got popped by Jaden Daniels in Washington. But you could even say there's more pressure on McCarthy going into this week because they said, thanks, Sam Darnold. Nice year, but we're going with the kid. And he hasn't done anything.
Were you a J.J. McCarthy guy coming out of Michigan?
Yeah.
You liked him?
Yep. I thought he had a great workout. I just think he's a competitor, a winner. Yeah. Yeah. Not high-end talent type guy, but put together well.
Right. Not the ceiling of like a Drake Maye or anything
I came on to him late. Yeah. Yeah, and I wasn't at first, but then I became that because I think the kid's a winner, and I thought he attacked his offseason and his build to the draft really well and had a great workout.
Drake Maye to me, again, all eyes on him because for me, you look at it and what's gone on so far this preseason. First week, no turnovers whatsoever. Coming off of the spring where he struggled and threw those interceptions, trending in the right direction. And then you have the 2 turnovers in the Friday scrimmage. Then you have the turnover and the ill-advised play against Washington. You follow that up with a touchdown. We all know what the ceiling looks like for Drake Maye. We all know the physical tools there. But if you're actually going to win 11 games like some people hand up on this show think that they're going to, it's going to have to be Drake Maye leading the way, and it's going to have to be Drake Maye not turning the ball over on a consistent basis and cleaning that stuff up. And I think this, with Brian Flores and what he's capable of on the defensive side, that's going to be a huge tell in terms of what you're kind of looking at this year, I think.
Who's the third chair today? Nobody, huh?
Nobody.
The ghost is going to do. Oh, my God. Speaking of ghosts, 9:54 last night. I fell asleep, I think, around 9:30 in bed.
Time of death, 10:10.
9:54. I wake up screaming for my mother. I had sleep paralysis last night.
You called your shot like Babe Ruth, by
It's
the
in
way.
my subconscious for two days ago.
Called your shot. You said this is going to happen to me now that we've
My
been
son
talking
came
about it
running,
for an hour.
Dad, what's going on? I'm like, I just had it again. I'm like, you got to be effing kidding me.
Does he know what the deal is with it?
Not really. My oldest daughter gets it every once in a while.
Yeah.
So this is a more common thing than people think. Here we go again. And I'm like, I don't need this. I couldn't go to bed for a while again. Now I'm tired today. Because I slept with the lights on again. Not lights on, but the TV on. 'Cause usually I have to have it
Did you
black.
put The Departed on to fall asleep since you're not into The Departed?
No. I
put you right out?
I put the Red Sox game on. We'll get to that. Yeah. Whew. That was a fun one to watch, huh?
Milliken, your boys.
Red was ready, though.
Yeah. 14-1.
Yeah.
Stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
So, we'll talk to, we'll hear from Mike Vrabel coming up at 12:30 as they get ready for the
Start taking it live?
Going to take
Vrabel
that.
live?
Yeah, we're going to
Good.
take Vrabel live
We should. Capella's out there. Yeah.
at 12:30.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we put Capella out there for it.
Damn, when are you heading out there?
Friday morning.
All right.
Friday morning production meetings, Friday afternoon. So, got to get there before those.
All right, 617-779-0985 is your telephone number. A lot to get to when it comes to the Patriots. Storylines heading into these joint practices with the Vikings. Zoe, what's the deal with Kyle Duggar? What are the expectations there? Is he going to be on this roster when it comes to week 1? How's it shaping up when it comes to the receivers? Big week for Efton Chisholm. Big week for Javon Baker.
I go Baker Chisholm on this one, yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, I think it's huge weeks for them as far as potential to make the roster. I'm not penciling them in yet. Not doing it.
Zoe, what's your level of concern for this offense? Is there any level of concern for this offense at this stage of the game?
There always is, because it's a new offense for Drake. Obviously, the left side of the offensive line. How could you not worry about 2 rookies going out there? You look at the pass rushers you're going to face. Start with Max Crosby week 1. You got Watt week 3. Down in Miami, you're going to be hitting the heat. Probably be about 90, 95. Probably feel like 105 on the field. Carolina has gotten better towards the end of last year, so you need to come out in the month of September and be good. This isn't a, hey, let's have a 7-week slow build to get us up and running.
Right, now
We got
all
to be
of a
ready to
sudden
go week
clicking on all
1.
cylinders.
We got to be ready to go week 1.
Now, look, there should be development, obviously, with Drake Maye from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. I expect to see a big jump in terms of his play. But what's a successful offense look like in terms of putting up points in those first few weeks?
It's probably going to start with the run. Right? Based on what we saw the other night, they're going to try and run the ball. And it's going to be run to set up the pass, I think. That's the way I feel this right now. It's another thing watching Drake play that I go back to a year ago. Feels to me like he gets better as the game goes. He'll come out and maybe start slow like he did the other night, but wakes him up, gets a quick rebound, let's go down the field. And it looked effortless. But he's got to be a lot better. He will. I have confidence in that. I'm not that worried about the quarterback as much as people are.
I don't know how worried people are about
He's an even kill kid, meaning I don't think he sits. You watch Caleb Williams, every bad throw, he's cussing everything out, throwing his hands up in the air. He's way too volatile, emotional.
Yeah.
Drake's pretty even kill, and he deals with the negativity, I think, about as good as he does with the positive stuff that he does.
I don't know how concerned people are with, because I think everyone sees the talent when it comes to Drake Maye. I think the concern is that a lot of this sort of hinges on his development, right? And so if he's not the quarterback that a lot of people are projecting, and I think a lot of people hope that he winds up being the top half of the quarterback by the end of this year, then all of a sudden I think there's realistic expectations based on, again, sort of what you've seen from Mike Vrabel and company and what they've sort of established here in a short period of time. But if he doesn't live up to that, if he turns the ball over a fair amount, if the turnovers are an issue, if you're not scoring at a consistent level, all of a sudden now you're settling back into what could be potentially a disappointing year. We're talking about 6-7 wins, something like that. And I don't think fans want to see it. I think a lot of that hinges on Drake.
That cannot happen.
Can't happen.
Nope.